You ever had a morning where you're just wiping down the front door of your brand new house, minding your own business, feeling like life might finally be turning a corner, and then someone bangs on your door so hard you nearly swallow your tongue? Not a polite knock. Not the "hey, welcome to the neighborhood" kind either. This was the kind of knock you get from a repo man who's got the devil on his schedule. Yeah, that happened. So I peep through the little fisheye, and what do I see first? Not faces, nope, a clipboard, like some kind of bureaucratic warning shot. Then there's a flash of red polo and navy blazer thrown over it like someone late for their second job. Next to blazer lady, a guy with mirrored aviators so bright I swear a 747 could land by instrument on his face. And right behind them, 3 more red polos fanned out like backup dancers. Let me tell you, as someone still new to living alone for the first time, I did not love the look of this welcoming committee. See, this was my first house. My first real front door I could paint teal hot pink or zebra stripes if I wanted, without anybody's permission. I just closed on a 3-bedroom ranch at the edge of Weatherfield, right past the old orchard where the road dips and the squirrels act like they own the place. And yes, I was real proud of that door kept the original brass lock set, even after the inspector told me it was quirky. Well, quirky was about to become my lifeline. I crack open the door just a sliver, get a whiff of that early summer mulch, and there she is. Blazer lady, all practice, smile eyes, colder than a church pew in February. "Good morning," she says. "I'm merrily president of the Trails at Weatherfield Association. You can call us TWWA. We're just here for a routine inspection. You missed our notices." And just like that, the guy next to her shifts so I can see his badge, not police, but the kind of plastic rectangle you get at Staples with compliance in big font, and DAX in blurry little letters. I almost lost it right there. DAX, really. I didn't miss anything, I tell her, because I don't belong to your association. And right then, her smile flickers like a bad PowerPoint transition. "Sir," she says, "everything on this street is part of our community." I pull out my phone, show her the county parcel map and the CCNRs. The boundary line ends 2 houses down, right where the sidewalk does this little patchwork thing. "Not my circus, not my monkeys," I say. "That's why I bought this place." One of the red polos mutters something. Merrily doesn't blink. "Our records show you're in good standing if you provide the CCNR access code to your security pad and schedule your paint swatch review." I'm like, "The what now?" She checks her clipboard. "Your neighbor's keypad was approved last winter. We expect the same. I try to keep it together." "Lady, you don't have my keypad code. In fact, there is no security pad. There's this." I point at my brand new Schlag deadbolt like it's Excalibur. Merrily's smile gets deeper, never a good sign. "I'm being patient," she says with a tone that could freeze lava. "But this isn't optional. We're here to verify your interior paint colors, measure your shed setback, inspect for non-conforming vegetation. And we got 2 complaints about your parking." I glance past her. My truck is sitting in my own driveway, set back from the sidewalk. "What complaints?" I ask. "Dax pipes up all robot multiple vehicles overnight. Non-compliant with 3-hour street parking restriction." I go, "I'm not on your street. I'm in my own driveway." Merrily nods toward my neighbor's house. Owen was very accommodating, set a great example. Owen's garage door is lime green. I mean literal highlighter green. "If this is about paint, maybe go see him." Merrily goes silent, red polos shift like nervous birds, and Dax does the foot in the door shuffle. I close the door another inch. "All right, let's cut to it. You're not my HOA, no jurisdiction. Step over my line and it's trespassing. We're done here." I try to close the door, but it snags on Dax's shoe. "That's not wise," he growls. Mirrored shades boring into me. "Remove your shoe," I say, "or you're about to meet the world's crankiest homeowner." Merrily pipes up. "We don't actually need permission. We have an easement filed with the plat." I'm pretty sure. "Check your records," I say. "But unless you've got a warrant, You're not setting foot past my threshold. Warrants are for criminal matters, Dax says. This is civil compliance. You just get fines. We prefer not to go the eviction route. Eviction. I try to keep my voice even. Eviction from a house you don't control. She smiles like she's doing me a favor, not punitive administrative. The second you bought a house outside our boundaries, our bylaws triggered an exclusion clause. She goes on about how I can't be both inside and outside, so I'm evicted, but they still need to close my account by inspecting my house. Now, I've never lived under an HOA. I'd only read horror stories online, intentionally avoided neighborhoods with words like absolute cap. I thought I did my homework. So because my brain only works under stress, if I document, I start recording. Let me get this straight, I say into the camera. You evicted me from your association because I bought outside your boundary, but you still want access to my house, my lock code, and wait for it, my router credentials. Dax chimes in, dead serious, to validate you're not using a non-approved internet provider. I about choked on my own spit. At that point, I'm done. Get off my property. Merrily just keeps smiling. We're just doing our job. Or I can call a tow truck for your non-compliant parking. I'm like, go ahead. I'll call 911. Silence. Even the red polos freeze like they're watching reality TV. So I dial 911, put it on speaker. Explain group claiming to be an HOA demanding access foot in the door, threatening to tow my truck. Operator asks, are they trying to force entry? Just a shoe and a lot of attitude, I say. Merrily's smile goes brittle. There's no need to escalate, she hisses. You raise the stakes, I say, when you threaten to evict me from your club. The red polo's huddle Dax finally pulls his shoe back and merrily steps to the side to make a phone call. While we're waiting, Owen, my neighbor, is out fiddling with his lawnmower, pretending not to watch. I call over Owen. Did you give them access? He freezes. Looks guilty. They said it was standard. Threatened a fine for my roofline from 1997. I wasn't even alive then. Pretty sure you were, I joke, but he's rattled. They said if I gave them my lock code, they'd waive the back dues. They measured things, plugged something into my router, told me I needed a better internet plan. Merrily interrupts all sweet. Let's not involve you in something you're not part of. He is part of it, I say. He's my witness. Cops show up, 2 officers, 1 seasoned, 1 new. Officer Penner Gray at the Temples takes charge. Here's the deal, he says. I don't adjudicate HOA disputes. I do enforce criminal trespass. This homeowner says you're not his HOA and asked you to leave. Step on his property again after being told not to. That's a problem. You got it. Merrily tries to protest. We have an easement. Penner asks, do you have it right now? She doesn't. Then you don't have it for today, he says. Would you like them formally trespassed? He asks me. If they step 1 foot past the sidewalk or onto my driveway, yes. Otherwise, whatever. He hands me a form. I fill it out official as anything. Merrily tries to pivot, tells Penner I'm in violation, evicted from the rolls. He asks to see my paperwork, deed plat, parcel map, CC&Rs. He points to the map, says, looks to me like your property's not included. Unless they have a court order, they're done here. Merrily's mouth goes tight. We'll see you in civil court. You know where the courthouse is? Penner shrugs. They leave. Owen comes over looking embarrassed. Sorry, man. I didn't know. You didn't do anything wrong, I tell him. They sounded official. Half the country would fall for it. He looks relieved, but nervous. What happens now? Now I research. I work from home, so I deep dive into the plat, CC&R's bylaws. I print, highlight, email the county recorder. Miss Lively at the county office confirms no HOA easement on my property, just utilities and fence line stuff. I lawyer up. Mr. Dre reads, my stack says, this is nonsense, not a legal term, but it fits. He fires off a letter, tells them to stop contacting me. Next thing I know, a white work truck shows up, guy in a neon vest measuring my mailbox at sunrise, two red polos waiting in a backup truck. I call the cops. Officer Penner again. Neon vest guy apologizes. I'm just following work orders. Penner tells him, your contract doesn't apply here. Tell your boss to read the county map. They leave. That night there's an envelope on my door, notice of entry. Claims they'll enter my backyard next Tuesday. I call Dre, who tells me to document everything, install more cameras, add a taller lock. The next morning my truck alarm goes off, tow truck in my driveway. Dax on the sidewalk with a clipboard. Back off my car, I say. Dax claims association parking enforcement. The cops show. Did you get authorization from the property owner? No work order from the association. Then you're stealing his truck. Unhook it. The tow guy does fast. Officer reads Dax the Riot Act. HOAs don't have police powers. Trespassing is still trespassing even in a polo. We file for a restraining order. Serve it on Marilee and Dax. Marilee sends a letter to the whole block, paints me as a problem neighbor, asks for donations to her legal fund. Owen and I go around warn neighbors. Turns out they'd been collecting boundary correction signatures. One elderly neighbor, Vera, had a stack of weird letters asking her to sign for administrative convenience. She didn't. Good on her. Then at dawn one morning, my cameras catch two hoodies trying my side gate with a key, one of the red polos from day one. Police add it to the restraining order violation. Court day comes. Their lawyer claims they're just volunteers protecting property values. I'm weaponizing the legal system. Judge is not having it. Asks, do you have a recorded easement contract legal right to place a device in his home? Attempted to tow his truck. Their answers, no, and, well, Judge extends the order 6 months, says I'm not under their jurisdiction, warns them about boundaries and liens. Did it end there? Nope. They try shaming me with community standards posters, photos of a truck that looks suspiciously like mine. I go on the offensive, file complaints with State Consumer Protection, the county recorder, attorney general. Dre writes the management company demanding proof of their authority, CCs the sheriff. I start a simple website document. Everything, invite neighbors to share stories. Nothing nasty, just facts. And the stories pour in ridiculous fines, overreaching, even tech installed under the guise of community network compliance. That's when I see it all for what it is, not just about rules, but normalizing access, turning boundaries into suggestions, privacy into a joke. So I get a little creative. Send the HOA a certified invitation for a courtesy inspection, but only if they can show proof of their easements. Copy the restraining order. I go to Lowe's, buy a 12-foot inflatable penguin, 6 gnomes, a string of Christmas lights in July. Set them all out, each holding a laminated copy of the restraining order. Neighbors join in. By sunset, we look like a discount Christmas parade. HOA sues me for defamation over my website. Dre drafts an anti-slap motion countersues for trespass and unfair debt collection. I send a plain language flyer to everyone. HOA is a contract. No contract, no power. Trespass is a crime. You can say no. Soon snarky signs start popping up outside Marilee's house. At the hearing, their lawyer rants about my penguin. Judge grants the motion, slaps them with fees. Management company loses their contract. County recorder cracks down on boundary corrections. State Consumer Protection opens a case. HOA apologizes in writing, promises to stay away. Marilee's gone. Dax disappears. The tow company sends me a gift card. By the time the dust settles, I've planted a maple where the tow truck tried to drag my truck, put up a Know Your Rights sheet for new neighbors, and well kept the gnomes. If anyone tries to tell me I was evicted for living outside their line, I reintroduce them to the actual boundary with a smile. Paperwork, patience, and a sense of humor beat a clipboard every single time. So here's my question for you. Where do you draw your boundaries? Ever stood your ground against the official folks who just make up rules as they go? Drop your stories and your thoughts below. Let's see who's got the best penguin in the yard. And if you want more wild tales of homeowner hijinks, hit subscribe. Next time, maybe I'll tell you about the time a squirrel got into my attic and triggered the neighborhood watch. Stay tuned, stay stubborn, and remember, don't let anybody with a clipboard talk you out of your own front door.